It is officially Election Day here in America, and here at Stanford, it's Democracy Day. Students are participating in a number of events that include civic engagement, and we will be asking Stanford students what their emotions are as the election day goes on. It's officially Election Day. What are the emotions going through your head?
I'm feeling patriotic, I want my person to win. I think it's going to be a great election. I think the outcome of the election is going to be unprecedented. It could go two very specific ways. Kamala, go Kamala. That's my opinion.
What has campus felt like today? It's a very important election. Some students are voting for the first time. How has it been for you?
It feels very refreshed. I feel like everybody is very optimistic, really firm in what they believe, but willing to listen to others. And so it feels like a very positive energy today.
What do you hope for young voters to do on this election day?
Please, please, please go out there and vote. The rate of voting for young voters is a lot lower. People 55 and older tend to vote more than young voters. So please go out and vote. Your vote matters, wherever you are. Please, please, please. All you got to do is vote.
What do you hope happens tonight?
I mean, am I allowed to say?
We're allowed to say.
All right, I hope that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz win.
It is currently 2 p.m. on Election Day right now. A lot of students are getting involved, having many different conversations with each other at these different campus events. But the overall consensus that I've gotten is people are feeling optimistic about who they hope wins. So this is your guys' first time voting ever.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It was actually kind of surreal. I went to the polls yesterday. I think it's a privilege to live in a country where we can directly influence policy. And I'm also just really glad that we're at a college where we're allowed and we're given the freedom to go out and vote. I know a lot of my friends at other colleges aren't given days off to actually go out during election day. So I was just really grateful.
When you think about it, voting is an obligation. It's a responsibility to the civic duty of our country. So it's amazing to be, finally 18, finally adults, and have the opportunity to engage in that obligation. I think a lot of students here and a lot of students in general, especially youth, are becoming more involved with policy. So the fact that we could actually shape it through our vote and partake in this tradition of over 300 years, it's really inspirational.
I've waited for this day for so long. I was 17 in 2020, so I was so close to voting, but I wasn't able to. So I've been waiting for this for a really long time.
Okay, it is currently 4 p.m. and behind me is actually where people are doing in-person voting here on Stanford campus. The energy has not dwindled down so far. I feel like a lot of people are still very enthusiastic and very energetic about the election. Again, it is still early on in the day. We don't know how the mood is going to shift later on as more votes and more states are called. But right now, it has definitely been a very energetic campus and a very enthusiastic crowd. A long night to go. What are you hoping happens?
Me and my friends are doing a drinking game, every time a state gets called, so I'm hoping that I am awake to see the results.
It is currently 6:16 p.m. and as of right now, Kamala Harris has 99 electoral votes. Donald Trump has 177 electoral votes. Tensions have definitely risen throughout the past hour at this Dine and Dialogue event for Democracy Day, but it's still early on in the night, and polls are continuing to be updated as we speak. And Tressa, we are at Dine and Dialogue right now. What are your emotions right now? How are you feeling today?
The whole Democracy Day programming has been really helpful, I think, to distract me from what's going on with the election. Personally, getting a little bit stressed waiting for all of the results to come in.
Yeah, I joke that if Trump ends up winning, I'll go to law school. So we'll see. My decision will be made for me.
So how does it feel voting for the first time in a presidential election?
I think that many of us care deeply about voting, and I hope that continues. I hope that this is not the last election we care about. I hope that this is just the beginning.
As a professor of law here at Stanford, how has your role as a faculty member kind of influenced the way that you participate in the democratic process?
It's exciting to be in the law school where we really focus on, the rule of law, questions of public policy. I mean, the students here are so bright, so impressive, and they really are well positioned to really change the world.
A lot of students that I've talked to today have said that this is their first time voting ever. So what do you have to say to young voters?
Voting gets better. Today, it's of all the elections to have to vote in, this is undoubtedly one of the most consequential in 100 years, maybe ever in the Republic, at least since the Civil War. I'm sorry that students have not yet seen a better array of choices, a choice that wasn't so stark between democracy and autocracy. And I'm sorry they haven't seen a functioning democracy. They're seeing a democracy on its back heels trying to defend itself.
It is currently 7:54 p.m. Kamala Harris has 113 electoral votes, while Donald Trump has 210. I am at the election watch party here at Stanford, and a lot of people have been expressing anxiety. I heard someone say they might not have a job if Trump wins. So tensions are definitely high among Stanford students.
I'm feeling a little bit less optimistic, I think, than I was this morning, but I still am confident that we're not going to know the outcome of this election until later this week. And I think that this is kind of always what happens when in-person votes are counted before absentee votes.
It has just been projected that Donald Trump will win North Carolina. It makes the official count 192 for Harris, 230 for Trump. So emotions are really high right now at this watch party. How are you feeling right now?
There's a lot of stress in the crowd, so I think I'm definitely feeding off of that.
There was definitely a lot more excitement in the beginning. Now it's just like a lot of people being nervous for sure.
I think I'm honestly super anxious. I think we're seeing razor-thin margins in all the battleground states. I'm just hoping that we have some semblance of an answer very soon. So fingers crossed.
Where are you from?
North Carolina.
And North Carolina was just called for Donald Trump. How's that making you feel?
It was, and it's really frustrating because Josh Stein, the governor, it went to the Democrat, and I think it's really frustrating. There's a disconnect between people that obviously voted for Trump, but then also voted for the Democratic governor, and it makes me upset to say that I'm from North Carolina, but luckily my town and my county all went blue, so I'm happy about that.
It is 11:40 p.m. on November 5th, 2024, and as of right now, Donald Trump has 266 electoral votes, and Kamala Harris has 214. We have spoken to students for the past 12 hours about their emotions throughout the day. It started with a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of optimism for Kamala Harris, and towards the end, especially at the election watch party at the Arbor, anxiety, stress, fear. I saw people crying, and emotions have just been everywhere today on campus. As of right now, Donald Trump is doing his victory speech to his supporters and claiming himself as the winner. While the race has not been officially called yet, he is claiming himself to be the next president of the United States. Reporting for the Stanford Daily, I'm Janelle Olisea.